approach. T1 grouped up as 4. The Drake is down to 2,000 HP. Faker joins up with everybody. It's a 5v5. They go in immediately as Doran tries to lead the charge with a blast estimating smash, but he's only going to be beat down himself. A lot of damage onto Doran, but he is not down. Carry into the back line. The major engage from T1. Tarzan finds a supreme display of talent and making a 1-for-1 so far, but T1 have the health bars. Faker rides the Weaver's wall as Carry is about to die into the back line, but Kyle falls. Tarzan falls. T1, they'll lose Carrier as Gumayusi fights back, and Shanks is on the run. Faker and Guma looking for a little bit more with a piercing arrow going over the wall, and Faker's ready to flash. Another rock is thrown, and Shanks.
Yeah, for AL, it has to be a way of finding a bypass to Doran. Flandre going in.
Yeah, Flandre goes in for the flash. He wants to try to find Faker here. Needs a little bit more damage. Ulti to drop the aggro, and Shanks gets the kill. TP coming in from T1, but it might be a little bit of a problem, though.
Again, the flashes will be critical here.
Oh, Hope goes forward, but immediately Carry is ready to try to respond here with the grand entrance. Hope tries to get over the wall. He sidesteps the seismic shot, but the damage from Owner is way too much. A big mistake from AL, and a bigger punish from T1. Tarzan goes in. Supreme display of talent under 3, but there is no follow-up. Tarzan has to try to flash away. Owner goes after him, but now he's trapped. Shanks with a little bit more damage, kills off the T1 jungler. The Realm Warp's ready to go in, and Shanks wants another. The arrows fly out as Doran charges in. Shanks with a flash to the side to avoid the engage coming out from T1's top laner. Doran's gonna try to run. Another arrow flies out from Gumayusi as now Carry has got to be careful. Step forward, Doran then gonna crush the tunnel. Kyle, half HP still, gonna use Redemption early here for AL just to make sure the health bars stay topped off. Flandre marked on the side. Seismic shove onto the AL top laner. Chain CC onto Flandre. He's already down. T1 have found the pick. Supreme display of talent. Tries to hold the line, but into the back line goes Owner. Hope is being chased. Tarzan's being killed. Anyone's legend is being crushed as Shanks tries to fight back in a 1v4, but he'll get nothing but an epitaph as T1 kill 4 and take Soul.
T1 go fishing and they find Flandre. They pick him off and they decimate AL in the team fight.
Hope is trying desperately to hold on, but T1 are chasing.
Faker's riding the wall in. Hope's gonna be the last to die. A delayed ace.
Well spotted Hope, but do they know AL are in the bush?
AL trying to set some kind of a trap. They know a fair fight doesn't favor them any longer. Kyle gonna be trapped on the wrong side of the Weaver's wall. Seismic shove connects onto Shanks, who immediately goes golden. But it's gonna be a 2-for-1 deal. Supreme display of talent at least takes Carry out in the process. But T1 is still one.
Tarzan spotted as well.
Okay, Owner and Carry are the only two around the Dragon Pit for now. TP coming in. Faker is ready to join back up with the rest of the team after purchasing the Crypt Bloom. AL starting up the Elder Dragon now. T1 watching on, waiting for the rest of the team to approach. Elder Dragon down to about 1/2 HP. Hope taking a chunk of damage. Dora charging in. Weaver's wall over the top. Kyle's gonna be caught. A ton of burst onto the support of anyone's legend, and he's already down. T1 charge forward. Double kill to Gumayusi. Pressure onto Tarzan. Triple kill Guma. AL are cut to pieces, and T1 holds the sword. Flandre's last to die. An ace for T1.
내가 미드할게. 지우자. 얘네 이번에 건든다 얘네가. 오케이. 쳤나? 쳤어. 쳤다. 오케이. 쇼부 볼 거야. 확인. 내가 가인이라 이거 바로 걸 생각할게. 내가 박아놓을게. 박을게. 나 가인이라 나 안 빠져도 돼. 암레 볼게. 암레. 암레. 나 괜찮아. 좋아. 이제 막 암레 줘. 좋아. 뒤도 좋아. 키아나 잡아. 뒤 다 좋아. 라이즈 봐야 돼. 라이즈. 라이즈. 야 펜터. 또 3초. 렉사이. 일단 렉사이. 안 됐다. 까비. 이거 상타 색채 찍으면 끝나? 나이스. 나 장난 좀 먹을게. 예? 나이스.
T1 looking to silence any doubt that was thrown their way.
We can see Tarzan coming down for the Wukong level 3 gank potential here in the bottom lane. Carrier goes in with the dredge line. A lot of damage onto Kyle. He flashes away. Gumayusi flashes after. One more spinning axe is going to do it, but no! Hope denies it. As the wave is ready to crash, they don't want to allow Flandre to try to clear this out. Canamini gonna absorb it here with a star. Wind becomes lightning. Flandre with a flash away. Doran gonna burn him down, but he needs a little bit more damage with the flame spitter.
Faker on the Anivian this mid wave.
He's looking for that public execution, and he finds it. Faker gets jumped on. Flandre coming in, trying to proc the rebirth, and they get it. They've scrambled the egg, and there's the feat of Boomerang Blade, his ricochet, bouncing through the wave to stop Gumayusi's back as Doran goes in from a ton of damage here with a Flandre. The public execution plus the flash to try to get away. Flash Electro Harpoon coming out. Doran, but no! It's Flandre with reinforcement from Shanks for the shield for the outplay to stop Doran in his tracks.
Wait a sec!
Wait a second!
Makes it a 1-for-1. Guma
with the ult from the opposite side of the map. And now AL, they need to be careful.
Yeah, AL's got to be careful here. Kyle gonna have a nice keeper's verdict to make the fight unfair. Carry is your first target. His owner wants to go in after Kyle now. Loses half his HP. Boomerang Blade takes Carrier down to 150. Faker making his way forward, but T1's not gonna find anybody. They also
Doran's
using
in behind.
the teleport now. Doran coming up behind him. The Rumble's already arrived into the fight as Tarzan tries to find some damage onto Faker. Shanks looking to cut him off. The egg, again the rebirth is triggered as Flandra's made his way into the fight and Gumayushi goes back over the wall. Tarzan kills Faker and T1 is on the run. Carrier Dredgelines back to safety as Shanks dives in beside Kyle. A double kill for Tarzan.
They want to try and make a play in T1, trying to scope out the area as that goes.
Yeah, Carrier jumps in here with the Dredgeline, finds Tarzan, but to no avail. Kyle jumps in with a point-blank keeper's verdict. Shanks has arrived. They're looking at Gumayushi and they find the taunt. Guma's already down. T1 are routed as they try to...
about their positioning. Faker himself a little worried about his positioning.
Yeah, he's getting caught out here by Flandra. Public execution, though, not lined up
TPs are
correctly.
coming.
Now Flandra has to flash away. T1 committing to look to find the kill onto the Mbessa. Owner goes after it, needs the third talent strike, and Doran's damage is enough, but off to the side at the same time. Hope is going in. It's another kill traded back as Gumayushi dies once more. Anyone's legend. They want a second, and they'll find it. A double kill to Hope. And okay, T1 not afraid to start this up. It's a 2,500 gold lead for anyone's legend, but nobody's here just yet. Otacon already down to 5,000 HP. Tarzan goes in for the Cyclone. Shanks ready to arrive with a grand entrance. Tarzan's low, and the Whirling Death's gonna find the execution. T1 still fighting back as the Otacon is slain by Owner, but he dies in the middle of the fight. Public execution finds no target. Individual gold lead for Hope as the 80 carry here with a Sivir. They're moving into the enemy jungle now, and Kyle again just slams Owner into the wall, but now he's in danger. Tarzan and Kyle both so low, it's 2 dead on the AL side, but Hope is still alive. Faker flashes back over the wall, but Shanks is burning. Flandra caught in the middle of everyone. Anyone's legend have overplayed their hand, and T1 is ready to punish. Hope should be next to die, and Guma cashes in. Only Shanks still stands. That could have been the entire game. A Dredgeline from Carrier, and Owner is ready to follow up. The wind becomes lightning, and strikes Shanks down. They're gonna step back, group up as a clump, as 5 towards the bottom side of the river. AL looking for the approach. Tarzan wants to flank and he flashes over the wall. Now Faker's gonna try to get away. Hero's entrance knocks up 3. T1 trying to scramble. The damage comes down and Flandra flashes back over the wall as Owner's first to die. T1 on the run. Kyle wants a wall slam, but he can't quite find it. Hope goes in for Guma, and he cuts him down.
That fight, that flash from Tarzan, the TPs though.
Faker jumping into a spot that he should not be. He doesn't get slammed into the wall, but he's far back enough that he cannot stay alive. Hope runs after Doran. The auto attacks cutting through the Rumble. A little bit more is needed, and a little bit more will be found. Carrier presents himself on a silver platter, and it's AL. He can take care of those super minions. Everybody else groups up to defend the only remaining tier 3 turret, but over the wall goes Tarzan. Faker's got to try to stay safe into the back line. Public execution onto Faker. Redemption's not there in time. The egg has already been procced, but he will not be reborn. A kill onto Owner follows. AL's already found 2, and they want Gumayushi. Doran and Carrier will be next to die as T1 are wiped off of Summoner's Rift. Anyone's legend with a clean ace to win game 2.
Constantly roam up to mid lane as well, and Faker is getting dangerous.
Yeah, Faker walks too close to the brush. The deadly flourish right after the EQ coming in from Tarzan. Faker still on the run. AL thinking about going further. There's your fate sealed. Shanks goes in. First blood over to
We're so well renowned for Hope under pressure now.
Yeah, Carrier wants the pull, and he finds it onto Hope, who immediately tries to get away with the bomb right over the top. They take him down.
Guys available.
Proto Belt also completed for Faker. T1 starting up the Drake, have it down to half HP. Kyle, Tempered Fate, trying to save his jungler. Tarzan survives for now, but T1 is bringing everybody to the show. Doran in the middle of the Cataclysm. The stolen Tempered Fate. Tarzan's already down. Kyle's about to die. T1's found 2. Shanks is in the middle of everybody, and he has to try to get away. He wants to charge Q3. He gets over the wall for now.
Doesn't have the support there, but mid lane.
Yep, we're right back to live, and it's Gumayushi. Already used the satchel, sidesteps the deadly flourish. Tarzan steps forward and on the flank. Jumps in, but he doesn't find the opportunity here just yet. Tempered Fate, no target. Gumayusi getting away. Caught up here with a deadly flourish. The shots fire out. The curtain is called, and Gumayusi is cold. Tier 1 turret for T1.
Yeah, T1. Wait a second.
Nice Tempered Fate there. Flies out from Kael, and now they're looking to go in after Carrier. The Mega Inferno.
Kael is going to be lacking on the vision.
Doran going in, wants the 1v1 against Shanks. The Cassante is all out. Shanks fighting back, sidesteps the third and Tofo strike. Got a little dicey there at the end. Everybody that's not a support, for everybody except for Faker. Tempered Fate, no target connection there, but AL is going all the way in. They want Gumayusi, who already gets away, so they're going to switch over to Carrier now instead. Owner trying to fight back as Shanks is in the middle of everybody. He snaps back. Carrier dies first. Immortal Shield will keep Shanks alive as AL are now continuing to retreat. Kael and Shanks very low. T1 goes forward. Tarzan with a dunk, but he's only going to seal his own fate. Gumayusi barely holding on, but he burns down. Faker with a kill on Tarzan. Owner chases Hope. The Jin getting away for now as T1 have lost their bottom lane, but they've killed 3 in response. Faker after Flandra, who has to flash away. Owner flashes to try to catch him with a ball breaker. Flandra needs more distance, but he cannot find it. Abscond, abduct.
A very big hook. Maybe get an early summoner spell.
Okay, knocks Tarzan up into the air. Tempered Fate onto Tarzan to try to keep him safe a little bit longer here, and he does manage to buffer through the CC. Now Flandra putting some pain onto the T1 lines, but no! It's Owner going in, they lock up Flandra, they beat him down!
Does provide a lot of value when the soul fight is coming, but if Faker can't get away, this could be very problematic.
Yeah, Flash immediately into the binding, Tempered Fate right after. Faker trying to get away, goes golden to buy himself an extra second. Through the wall they go, Tempered Fate from Faker keeping himself alive as Doran's into the back line. Hope is under pressure, Faker's still alive for now. Hope gonna be cut down. Doran going in and Faker's already cut down first. Hope next to die. It's a 1-for-1. AL's in the middle of everybody as Tarzan has to try to get away, and Carrier's gonna be focused, but he finds a pull over the wall beforehand. Flandra pulled in, but Doran shut down. Gumayusi over the wall with another satchel as Tarzan wants to find a little bit more, but he dies. Gumayusi and Owner working together as Guma dies to Shanks. Owner wants another. Flandra needs to get away, and he hops between worlds. The Owner can't chase him down. Flandra gets back over the wall, and Shanks is ready to flash. Owner will get knocked into the Guardian Angel. Carrier's the only one left alive, and that Guardian Angel will not hear the prayers of T1. And T1 are ready to answer the challenge. Faker with a teleport ready to join up as immediately the engage comes out from Tarzan. The target is Carrier. The Shanks shield finds everybody. Thanks in the back line as Gumayusi tries to get away. He's scattered, but he's knocked down by Tarzan. Faker scrambling as Kael and Hope chase after him. Doran's going to be the next target, and anyone's legend have forced the world. They've got the Dragon Soul, the Elder spawning in less than 1 minute. The binding into the wall does not connect to Kael, but now T1 is overextended. Owner's in the middle of everyone. That's your jungler right before Elder, but the TP is a mistake from Flandra. He's shut down already. Owner's Guardian Angel will not save him. It's a 1-for-1.
Tarzan, they were up for Shanks. AL, such an advantage.
T1 trying to approach. Doran's gonna be the point man, trying to make his way in there as Gumayusi continues to throw bouncing bombs. Elder Dragon down to 3,000. Fate Seal cuts through, but the stasis gonna lock everybody up. Tarzan's gonna be your focus. Mega Inferno bomb over the top of the Elder is secured by anyone's legend, and they're continuing the fight. Faker is about to be executed as Doran falls too. Anyone's legend is murdering T1. Curtain call fires out. Most of the bullets won't find their target, but they won't need to. It's Owner and Carrier versus AL. They have to try to distract. Owner jumps into the middle of everyone, but the Elder Dragon will roar with the might of China as anyone's legend forces T1 to match point and takes game 3.
But there's so many members on the top side of the map for T1, and they don't know Doran's here.
Yeah, Doran's still there. The call of the Forge God. The paranoia over the top. Hope tries to get away with the flash, but he's still caught up in the fear. He waits to use the cleanse. Hope locked up by the Ornn, but he gets enough distance. AL staying alive for now. Kael and Hope both get away. T1 goes in. Gumayusi with a killer instinct, but Hope still lives underneath the turret. Doran's going in with a bellows breath, and it's first blood over to Carrier. Kael tries to counterattack with Zenith Blade, but he does not have what he needs. Doran now the target. Shanks doesn't hit him with a chain. He's got to try to get away as Tarzan wants to kill Doran. Shanks still in the back part of the fight. Tarzan with a 3-man impale. T1 still trying to fight as Faker arrives in. Shanks down to 150, and the blooming burst of health bar. He just goes up. He gets bonked a little bit, but now Tarzan is looking to change that around. Nice use of the bellows breath, but he is pulled back by the claw from Flandra. He tries to get underneath the turret. Doran flashes away. Flandra does secure the kill, but now he's got to get away from the turret. His teammates come wave clear of the victor. Faker winning the trade against Shanks as Tarzan trades with Keria and Gumayushi. T1 with control over the Herald as AL approach. Flandra's going to look for a target, potentially here for the death round. Herald down to 4K. Claw hits 2, but Flandra can't get any closer. Owner wants to take the objective. Paranoia's already gone out. Herald secured by Owner as the Ornhorn comes in but only finds one. Keria locks up Hope. Gumayushi into the back line and the AL AD carries already down. Owner tries to flash away. Doran in the middle of everybody, but Flandra barely stays alive. He should surely die right after the shield falls and Owner kills him. Kyle's on the run. T1's on the hunt. Everybody on AL's dropping. They're gonna walk forward. They are going to see the Otacon started. They're bringing in the teleport. AL have to send some sort of a Hail Mary play here. Tarzan jumps in, only finds Doran. Keria looking for the Pop Blossom. He only finds it onto Kyle. The Ornhorn flies through and Hope is already down. T1 have found their marks, and they want even more. Owner is smashed by Flandra in the Rift Herald pit here at the same time as Faker stays alive, and they cannot quite do it. Finally, they get the shutdown. AL's winning the fight. T1 may have overplayed. They may have overstayed. AL find their way back into the game. Flandra.
This is going to be a turn from T1. Watch out for the engage.
Yep, keep your eyes on Keria specifically here with the Nico. Teleport coming in from the AL side. Also T1 ready to reinforce. Ornhorn sounds off. Doran goes in. They're going to knock up Kyle here at the very start, but into the back line. T1, Faker under pressure. The burst over the mid laner. They found him, but Hope is also already down. Shanks next to die. The Arcane Storm is a typhoon, but AL is fighting back. More damage to Gumayushi. Flandra wants him. Flandra can't find him. The mace will not connect over the wall. And now Tarzan goes on a killing spree. AL are winning another fight. Doran locked up. He gets away with a teleport. Chunks him out, but doesn't chunk him super low. T1 takes the Drake, and now they're ready for the 5v5. Doran summons up the Ornhorn. They're going in after Flandra. They want to focus the Mordekaiser. They've got him locked up in the CC, and Faker strikes him down. AL have lost their strongest player. Tarzan whiffs the Impale, and Owner continues moving forward.
Have to defend the Baron. 4 versus 5.
T1 going after the big objective. Tarzan wants to step forward here, try to find a little bit of poke. Kyle and Hope now. A nice catch from Doran. Hope is already down. Tarzan has to retreat. Ishtal's impact through the wall. They can't slow him down. They do not want to allow it to get low enough for Tarzan to try to steal. Doran jumps in, knocks Kyle up into the air. Shanks going in after Keria, wants to stop him. Ornhorn through the middle of the fight. And once again, Flandra's going to get focused, but he is not dead. Big impale from Tarzan. A lot of damage comes through. Keria dies before the Pop Blossom. Flandra in a little bit of trouble now, but he's still fighting. The shield keeps him alive, but T1 is too strong.
Yeah, they melt the front line. Shanks is actually creeping around, but there's not much he can get. He's looking for an angle onto Guma.
If he can find Gumayushi, that's the angle. That's the only way to win it, and there he goes! Shanks with the hero play as Hope tries to escape from Doran, but the Bellows breath takes him down. Tarzan wants to get away from Owner, from Faker. He can't quite get there. He's feared up. Shanks nearly kills off Owner, but a beautiful spell shield keeps him alive. Shanks is trapped inside the gravity field, and Faker takes him down. Tarzan on the run. He's the only one left alive from the original fight. Kyle has finally respawned. Faker and Doran are going to continue the chase now. If they can get a delayed kill on this jungler, they can almost guarantee themselves either a soul or a Baron, and that's exactly what they're doing. Tarzan will not be allowed to dig through the wall. To chip away at these tier 3s. Doran with a Bellows breath to get through the claw. Flandra loses half his HP. The Mordekaiser's going to be your target. Here goes the Ornhorn. They knock Flandra up into the air, but again, nobody under serious threat. Tarzan with an impale onto one, but he's about to die. He flashes away. Guma flashes in. Carry with a 3-man Pop Blossom will seal the fate of anyone's legend. Guma with a triple. Guma with a quadra. Only Flandra stands. Gumayushi finally dies, but AL will die.
못 해볼게. 못 해볼게 좀만. 나 조장 있어. 돈 꺼줄게.
괜찮게 해? 앞라인 앞라인
앞라인 좋아. 타워 체크해 타워. 스카
스카 보인다.
스카
스카
스카 볼래? 스카 노플.
잡아볼게 이거.
불 찍고 뒷라인 해볼게. 우리 카이사 쪽 봐줘, 카이사 쪽. 좋긴 하다. 싸움은 1듯? 나이스. 얘 풀 있어. 모델 공 있다.
나 죽었어.
잘해야 돼. 잘해야 돼. 이거 벌레가 맞아.
나이스.
나이스요. 나이스요.
Move to the Nexus, and they will take us to Silver Scrapes. Leave it to T1.
This might, but it's bottling that might be in trouble.
Yeah, Gumayushi and Keria having to back away. The zap does not connect on Gumayushi. Tarzan down here in the bottom lane. Guma wants first blood onto Kyle. It's going to be secured by Keria. Oh.
Guys like Tarzan and Kyle, who AL played through for so much of this split. Oh, Tarzan though.
Tarzan with the Arctic Assault trying to get back into it now. Shanks could be the one under pressure, wants to fire back into the T1 lines. Owner flashing away, staying alive, but there's the Glacial Prison. Only connects onto the tank, but Flanders arrived into the fight. They fight too! Anyone's Legend got exactly what they were looking for. Faker at least gets one back. Flanders separated from the rest of AL, and there's chunks under the AL health bars. T1 staying mostly grouped up. Keep your eyes on Keria over the wall. The arrow collides, but it's only onto Shanks, and he's at a safe distance, so no real value there. Redemption coming in, Seraphine ulti, no value. Owner's gonna be in some danger as immediately Tarzan jumps in the middle of everyone and has to try to flash away. Flandra on the flank. Drake owned now by T1. They will force AL back and they will earn themselves soul points. AL have to be a bit careful. Flandra here on the side, he's gonna find Doran, who finds him, as now the Solar Snare finds Tarzan, and T1 are moving forward. They charm up the enemy jungler. Tarzan's already down, but Doran dies. Hope is excited, but where's the rest of the fight? Keria tries to get away, Gumayushi right beside him. Flandra here on the front line as Owner's gonna be chopped up, but Mundo dies. Hope's on a killing spree. Flandra going forward, but Faker takes him out. Hope, Shanks, and Kyle trying to get away. Guma, Keria, and Faker stepping forward. The Otacon, it's impatient, but it's so close to dead. It is stolen away by Faker himself. Creating space. Dragon at 40%. Tarzan still nearby, but so is Owner. Dragon losing patience. Flandra's World Ender is about to expire. Doran still here on the front line. Hit with the Q1 of Flandra. Owner at about half HP. Shanks looking for a little bit more. Dragon at 2K. Glacial Prison fired out, but it's claimed the soul for T1. But Owner has already died. AL have got to find more unless they want to lose the game here. Doran takes a ton of burst. Scan of the week. The damage from the unleashed power. Shanks has another kill, and Tarzan is chasing after Faker. He gets the smite for the slow. They're gonna find another kill, but it's
Still, I like this from AL. See if they can find those picks. See if they can play off a vision. That's some damage onto Owner.
yeah, they're gonna commit onto the Doctor. Mundo! Shanks has killed him. Owner is dead. You want to talk about clutch moments? There you go. Tarzan and Flandra going forward. Faker's gonna be caught. So much damage from AL. Faker about to die. Shanks in a rampage. Anyone's Doran, Keria, and Gumayushi. 3v5, if nothing else. They need to stop the Baron from going over to AL right now. Shanks on the side, no ulti available for the Syndra here just yet. Tarzan over the wall wants to go in after Keria. Infernal Chains are going to connect. This Seraphine is down. Tarzan is traded, but Doran has died too. It's Gumayushi against anyone's Legend as he tries to kite and fight, but he's stunned. Good night, but kill for Shanks. AL. The rest of AL here for the fight. Red buff secured. Elder Drake started, but so slowly. Flandra gonna move forward, try to clear away the control ward. They're going in after the Aatrox. They set him up with the arrow. Flandra has been caught at a critical moment. Over the wall goes Tarzan. Wild Growth coming in from Kyle. Guardian Angel will bring Flandra back, but where is the damage on AL's side? Doran into the back line. Kyle is already down. Doran killed in response. T1 pushing forward. Shanks the next kill. Hope trying to kite. He needs to get away because T1 have won the fight 2-1.
Flandra is trying to reset and teleport back in. He's trying to link up with the team. The minions are here. They need to turn it. That's the teleport.
Okay, T1, they've got to understand this Aatrox is probably their target. Flandra arrives. Solar Snare looking to lock him up. Owner taking a ton of damage. Hope is excited. Flandra's got the kill. Solar Snare on Hope, but it's not going to do any more. Flandra's going to try to get away. Goes back in here for the Q1. Tarzan wants to engage on the Gumayushi, but he cannot find him. Flandra over the wall. Wants Faker. Can't get the damage. Hope can't do it either. Gumayushi's still alive. T1 out team fight anyone's Legend. 15 seconds left on it. T1 guiding the Baroned up minions toward the Nexus turrets. Solar Snare not hitting a target. Flandra and the rest of AL scrambling to try to defend. Nexus turret's down to about half HP. Honor takes some burst. Tarzan takes more. T1 looking for the engage. They found Flandra, but he gets away. Half HP on the front line of AL. T1 pushing forward.
대치 계속 할 거야. 당뇨 11시. 20초 나왔어, 20초. 이번 라인만. 프리 다 있나? 보트 정글 노플.
나 그거 보는 중.
우리 일시공 계속 맞아줘야 돼.
일단
계속 대시하면 돼. 피 관리
살짝 봤어. 안 됐다.
여기!
대전.
신달 노플. 타워 해보자, 타워. 타워 해볼게, 타워. 지금 야, 점사, 끝나.
T1 turns the page of the LPL. They will once again earn their place in the semifinals.